I'm abroad, so I don't have my recording set. But I still want to make a quick video. So, yesterday I was just getting my hair washed and doing some massage and stuff like that. And so they were drying my hair and I had to look in the mirror at myself for quite some time. And I'm someone who enjoys looking at myself in the mirror. Plus, when I'm doing a dance or, whatever, I see myself in the mirror all the time and I like how I look. However, yesterday I had this huge shift in in the realization that I have definitely looked older compared to just a few years ago, even just 2 years ago. I'm looking more angular, more like I'm growing into my features. My features like my lips, my eyes, my button nose, my cheeks, my cheekbone, my jawline. I'm just growing into my features. And this is not it's not saying that aging is a bad thing. I think aging is a privilege. And I truly enjoy how I look right now. But it just hit me that every day, day by day, it just feels the same. And then bam, one day you just look in the mirror and realize the time has just passed. And that was yesterday when I looked in the mirror. And I love how I look. I always loved how I look. And I was looking at my old pictures as well. I like the baby version of me, a little bit more baby fat and just a bit more rounded, a bit more youthful. Let's put it that way. And now that I look older, I definitely don't look like my mid 20s anymore. I'm growing into a 30 something. And it's weird because, you know, just a couple of years ago on my 30th birthday, I was skiing in a chalet. And while waiting for a bus, a lady thought I was going back to university, like 18 years old. And I was celebrating my 30th birthday. So I do not look like that anymore. I do not look like I'm in my 20s. I maybe to other people I might look in my late 20s, but I really don't feel that anymore. And I know that somewhere in your early mid 30s you will have like a different kind of puberty where you will look significantly different. Older, not a bad thing, different from when you were in in your 20s. And I definitely prefer the way I look right now. I think I have really aged into my features and I'm truly a believer in that aging is a privilege. And then I'm feeling something. I don't feel upset, I don't feel disappointed. I'm just almost like I'm looking in the mirror. Even I'm looking at myself in the reflection right now. And I'm like, I know this person, but also I don't really know this person the way I'm looking, you know? I'm just so used to the baby youthful version of me. And now I'm just feeling like I'm looking different. No, again, not in a bad way, but I feel and look different. And it's strange because, as a matter of fact, compared to my early 20s, mid 20s, I'm a lot more active. I'm doing 5 to 7 hours of sports every single week. I'm stronger. My fat percentage has definitely decreased. I just have a lot more energy. And so it's not about that. I don't feel that strangeness in that way, but just looking in the mirror, and I know that is me, but also that feels like a different person. And I don't know how to describe that feeling. I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I think it just feels like a different person in the mirror. And on one hand, I'm really appreciative of me looking more my age and going because I people always think I'm very young, and it's a big impact because when I'm speaking on stage, especially when I'm speaking in front of the United Nations or I'm speaking with several directors of multinational companies, there is a dissonance between me and what I say versus how I look. So aging into my features is something I'm actually quite excited about, and I do love how I look. At the same time, I look in the mirror and just go, who are you? Why do you look like that? And I'm not someone who does plastic surgery or whatever. I just feels a little different, strange, foreign. I think that's the word, bit foreign. Um, so yeah, I'm not hating or anything. It's just a bit strange looking. And then, so that happened yesterday, and I've been taking 24 hours just because I was also attending a conference and whatever. So I'm just brewing over this notion that I look in the mirror and I see a different path. And it got me back to the topic of plastic surgery, which I talked about not too long ago. And I think that, if you're someone who's constantly looking at yourself in your reflection, that realization that, oh, I look different now, can can inspire, nudge someone towards more of a preservation of old self than becoming of new self. Talk about becoming versus preserving before. And I, I can understand now why people are so interested to preserve their old self. They're focused on becoming that older version of themselves because it's just easier. I mean, I look in the mirror now, and it's not that I want to do plastic surgery at all. I just I just miss the baby me, I think. The little baby me that just feels like now that I feel older and look older, I just want to protect the baby me. I wish I had another day with baby me, and I can just, I don't know, live inside the body of baby me and features of baby me again. And just to say like goodbye one more time to goodbye baby me. And I can understand. I don't know if people have the same. I don't know if people who do plastic surgery, fillers, Botox and stuff, have the same connotation. But it's capturing that one last moment again and say, okay, it's time for baby me to go, and I become the older me. And I can imagine if someone's always looking at themselves, they want to keep and preserve that older version of them, and then you can go overboard with it, and now you never know what the older version of you actually looks like if you keep doing the Botox and all of that. So, um, now I think I finally understand the psychology behind people wanting to do Botox and plastic surgery. I'm still not a proponent of that. I think it's very useful to age into yourself, to grow into your features, to embrace this new version of me. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying this version of me. I'm not talking about, wrinkles and stuff like that, because I don't really, I mean, this is not the best camera, but I don't really have like massive wrinkles or anything. And actually I do like that my skin feels and looks a lot more real with, like, again, this camera sucks, but there you could see more like age on my skin. And I think that is I think when I die, I want to have scars and better wounds and blood and open wounds, healed wounds, because it shows that I have lived a life. It shows that I have gone through life, I have done experiences, I've used my life for something. And I'm not like, I don't have open wounds and scars and stuff like that because I've not been in a battlefield. But my face, I think my face looks more aged. It shows that I've gone through stressful time. It shown that I have like many nights of drinking and hangovers. It has shown that I've gone through really difficult times at work, and the stress lines are on my face. Gone through lots of happy times, so a lot of smiley frowny of smiley um wrinkle lines on my face. I've gone through periods where been super lean or skinny because I don't have time to eat. I've also had times where I got quite fat. The first few weeks of COVID, it was just a lot of eating before you start running 10 kilometers every day. So, all of these life experiences have little marks on my face, and I can see that in the mirror, and I'm just like, I like this version of me. I like the way I look. I'm still getting used to this new way I'm looking right now. And it's not a bad thing. I'm just coming to the realization that, oh my God, I look older now. Again, not a bad thing. Just, I'm no longer that baby face that I had before. And it's good. It's good. I'm very excited to become older, to grow into new versions of my face. And I'm excited to see how I'm going to look as decades will go by. So I'm coming to realization of this period of my face. I'm gonna look in the mirror actually more often now to observe my face, because I look in the mirror quite a lot, especially when dancing or doing the gym. I have to get my posture, my form properly. But to look at my face, I don't really do that. I mean, I also don't really use makeup, so I don't have to look at my face all the time. And I take a lot less selfies now, so I look a lot less at my face. So I'm gonna look at my face more often now and just appreciate the lines on my face, to appreciate the losing of baby fats, looking more angular, like look at those jawline growing into my features. I'm excited for this phase.